Welcome to the top 25 stories of 2025 from Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
2025 has been one of the most dramatic years for the LGBTQ community. Hotspots Magazine Happening Out television network shared more than 2,500 stories about and for our LGBTQ community. We don't know what 2026 will bring, so we thought we would finish our year by looking back. Of those 2,500 stories, let's look at the top 25 stories of 25. This curated list is drawn from Queer News Tonight, The FayWhat Show, Queer God Squad, and Hotspots Magazine. This was what was important to all of us in 25 of 2025. Let's queer up the top stories of the year. This is number 10 of 2025. Florida LGBTQ church kicks police out of lot, charges them $10,000 for parking. We recall our story on July 3rd, when Allendale United Methodist Church in St. Petersburg, Florida, drew national attention after confronting law enforcement on its property. When sheriff vehicles staged in its parking lot, the church objected and later issued a $10,000 bill, pledging the funds to immigrant legal services.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Greg Shapiro. Let's queer up faith. Florida LGBTQ church kicks police out of lot, charges them $10,000 for parking. The Allendale United Methodist Church in St. Petersburg is known for their pro-LGBTQ stance and drag queen sermons. On June 17th, Pastor Andy Oliver arrived at the church to find the parking lot full of Pinellas County Sheriff cars. When confronted, the officers stated they were staging for an operation. The pastor, suspecting they were there to assist ICE, asked them to leave. Afterwards, the church issued a bill to the sheriff's office for $10,000, stating it was for, quote, unauthorized use of private church parking lot beginning at 6 a.m., 13 vehicles occupying 17 parking spots, disruption to community access, operations, and congregational use of property, end quote. It also mentions that, quote, continued use without coordination or consent may result in legal action or additional penalties, end quote. It also states that the money will be forwarded to legal services for immigrants. What do they say? Hallelujah? Is that what they say, those people? As a longtime atheist, a story like this restores my faith in people of faith, and in Pinellas County, no less. Goddess bless you, Pastor Andy Oliver.
There are many ways to defund the police, and this is a really fun way to do it. You know, and I mean that both seriously, because you look at sheriff county budgets in the state, and they are getting really out of control. I think Miami's having like a budget deficit fight right now. You think how many cars you need for this? Like it's insanity. And doing all the more ICE raids, all you're doing is harming the economy and costing us all. Good for the pastor. I don't know if he'll win in court, but you know, make those jerks, you know, really run for it.
I'm looking forward to going to St. Petersburg because I'll be over there this weekend. I might have to go Sunday. And check in and see what's going on Sunday.
Oh my God, that's great.
It'll be fun, right?
Let's queer up the top stories of the year. This is number 9 of 2025. Supreme Court weighs case that could harm marriage equality in the USA. We look back on this story from August 13th. 10 years after marriage equality became law this year, the Supreme Court moved to consider a case tied to former Kentucky clerk Kim Davis. Her appeal challenged personal liability for denying licenses to a same-sex couple. LGBTQ advocates warned the case could reopen legal questions around Obergefell.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm William Haas, and let's queer up the USA view. Supreme Court weighs cases that could harm marriage equality in America 10 years after legalization. 10 years after the Supreme Court's landmark Obergefell versus Hodges ruling, legalize same-sex marriage nationwide, the justice will soon decide whether to hear the case that could upend the historic precedent. Sorry about that. The case comes from Kim Davis, the former Kentucky clerk, who in 2015 made headlines for refusing to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple, citing religious beliefs. Davis is appealing the $100,000 jury award for emotional damages, plus the $260,000 in legal fees, arguing the First Amendment's free exercise clause shields her from personal liability. Her petition, filed last month, marks the first formal request since the legalizing of marriage equality in the court to overturn Obergefell. While lower courts have rejected her argument, Davis' legal standing makes her a unique vehicle for conservative activists seeking to roll back marriage equality. The court will privately discuss whether to take the case on September 29th, with a decision expected earlier than October. If accepted, arguments can be heard in late 2025 or early 2026, with the ruling by June of 2026. LGBTQ activists warn this is part of a broader push. In 2025 alone, 9 states have introduced or passed measures urging the court to reverse Obergefell. The Southern Baptist Convention has also made overturning the rule a top priority. If overturned, the 2022 Respect for Marriage Act would still require states to recognize existing same-sex marriages, but could allow states to ban the issuing of new licenses. LGBT couples in the Respect for Marriage Act enough? Is it just? Will the religious exemption language render it useless? Is it tolerance without acceptance? Legality without love's full dignity? Not to mention the log cabin Republicans who have long insisted the Trump administration would never threaten the gay community. Yep, right. The community could find themselves with no defense if the court rules against marriage equality. It is something Donald Trump could bear politically. The stakes are high and clear for the queer community of America. Hard-earned marriage equality may again be on the line. The LGBTQ community across the world will be watching this story. This is so sad. We fought so hard for this right, and this shouldn't even be a right. It should just be a human right for us to marry, anybody to marry, as long as you're happy. And for them to start attacking us over this stupid woman who, let me tell you, that was 2015 where she got all those fines. If I didn't pay my fines at 10 years, they'd be throwing my ass in jail.
Yeah.
So why didn't she pay her fines, first of all?
Well, I mean, do you really want to talk about Kim Davis? Kim Davis, first of all, there's oil to put in your hair. Do something with it, girl, all right? Second of all, she wants to fight for the sanctity of marriage, and I think she's been married and divorced over four times.
Yeah, 4 times.
All right, yet you're coming for my marriage?
But there's nothing wrong with that.
No!
But it's her hypocrisy.
But it's the hypocrisy that I can't stand, and that's across the board with many people.
And we also knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. This is the era of I told you so. Because we knew all this shit was going down.
Yeah, we did. And listen, folks out there, stop telling me to calm down about this, okay? Because I'm not stopping and I'm not calming down anytime soon, right? What was just read is that, yeah, some of us will be grandfathered in and no new people can get married, right? I don't believe that shit, right? Did my trans siblings believe when they freaking received a passport in the mail with their dead name and their dead gender? Did they think that was going to happen? No. Did I think that was going to happen? No. But guess what? It did happen, right? Did a friend of my friend that is actually a U.S. citizen get taken to freaking Alligator Alcatraz because they didn't do due process? Yes, he got sent there. Is he going to be the only one? No, he's not. So I don't believe this. You know what I mean? At any given time, Satan can just decide, you know what? We're not going to do anything with this. We're not going to allow you as a same-sex couple to adopt here in our state. We're not going to let you as a same-sex couple to buy a home together. They can do other things to regulate our marriage that's not taking it away.
But also at this point, now you should be, funding your politicians that you support and going to SAVE events and, Equality Florida events and supporting our politicians.
But what are they doing? Are they doing anything though? I mean, William, the Democrats aren't doing shit aside from sending me a text saying, you want to give me $5? Right. Because that's the last text I got from Democrats right now doing something.
But we got to find candidates eventually that will support us and actually that will speak up for us.
The midterm elections will be here before you know it, and I don't see anybody.
Nope.
Also, let me say this, as a happily married person to my husband, Kim Davis, You look like you were conceived at a family reunion, this girl. You look like the love child of Cartman and a garbage bag. You don't have a forehead. You have 14 acres and a mule head. You need to leave us alone. If you need to find somebody to touch you to preoccupy your time, you can find plenty of men that will happily take what little coins you have to make sure you leave us the fuck alone. Okay? Happily married person will be happily married hopefully soon.
No, thank you.
Okay, all right, then there's no hope. But we ain't bothering nobody.
No.
My husband and I are the most boring people on earth. We are at home in bed by 11 watching YouTube and cuddling each other. We ain't bothering nobody. And that is most gay married couples. So why are you incessantly, sorry, incest might be a trick word for you, Mr. David. Why are you incessantly worried about us, Miss Girl? Jesus Christ, get some bangs. First, lastly. Some bangs, some clip-on bangs. I'm tired of seeing your forehead on my Instagram.
She needs a gay friend to,
She need a friend.
She need a friend, period.
A forehead reduction, something, a neck,
needs a total
anything.
makeover.
Get her something built like a thumb. Next.
She's built like a thumb.
Girl.
Oh,
right.
That's so insulting, the thumb.
Just make it out of my business.
All right.
What worries me the most
Francesca,
about
sorry.
this is if the Supreme Court does decide to hear this case.
Right, because they might not hear it.
Because they might not. But if they do decide, we have Roe v. Wade, that we saw what happened with that,
Yeah.
and it's all based on the 14th Amendment, same premise, and we have a super conservative Supreme Court right now. That's a little bit worrying. So we do have something to worry about. So you're right as to what you were saying. What are Democrats doing?
I mean,
What are our groups doing? How are we moving forward with this? And there are groups doing some
And there are
work.
people speaking up. Jasmine Crockett, thank God for her.
Right.
And there are people speaking up and out.
Right.
Philip,
But-
you were saying, let Francesca
Sorry, I'm
finish,
sorry.
please.
I
So
apologize.
this has just come to the surface now, right? Like the reality of this even like being presented. So I think things will move really quickly from here on out to see how we can defend our rights. I truly believe in our people and our organizations like SAVE and Equality Florida and, the UCLA, all these different groups that are really out there doing the work. They really are doing the work, but there's so many, we're being bombarded with so many different things that it's like, what's next? What's next? And that's part of, the political swing that happens back and forth. We've never seen this kind of a swing hit so quick and so hard, but we do all have to come together and do our part and move forward.
Because they want us to look at this and not ask for the Epstein files or something,
Right.
right?
But
Dale,
it
you were
is-
saying.
well, no, I just was talking about, I just threw in there. It wasn't intending to, I was just talking about Jasmine Crockett and other people.
Sure.
And she's amazing. By
She's
the way.
amazing. But, and in so many of these places, like here in Florida and other places, the Republicans have such a hold on everything. It's like, what can you do other than like just raise a fuss and raise a ruckus and post your stories? It's so frustrating.
It's super frustrating. And and again, I was a huge Ruth Bader Ginsburg, fan.
But
I'm sending her awful things, from now. I'm like, you know what I mean? And I feel bad for her because this is a woman I respected, who inspired, who was an incredible being, but she should have stepped the F down when she had a chance, And now, no, I must die up here. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Of course, they also stole that seat from Obama.
Yeah.
There's so many things. It's a really, really frustrating time to be alive.
It is. And we hear things like this and we post about it, and then our stupid friends are like, oh, you're overreacting. Why are you acting like that? We're not overreacting. We really don't know. Okay, Project 20...
if anything, underreacting.
We are. Project 2025, about 75% of what they wanted to do to LGBTQ plus has already been put into motion. Okay, what are some of the stuff they want to put trans and gay people in Guantanamo? That's probably one of the next things that they'll probably start building. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, we should be scared. We must be scared. If you're not scared, there's something wrong with you. Go to your doctor and make sure that you are alive, because these are scary times. And those moments of out of sight, out of mind, it doesn't affect me. Those days are over.
Yeah. But also, too, straight people need to realize this, too, because just because they're coming for our rights, what's next? What's going to affect them? So really you have to band together as a whole country and go after this and say, hey, we don't want this. We want to keep marriage equality for everybody.
I agree with that because it's shown that a majority of Americans are pro same-sex marriage. Even now with everything that's going on. So we do have to go to our allies as well and shake them up a bit.
But is that also true of abortion? Is that also true? I mean, there were more.
Yeah.
Listen, there was a time in this country
it's still
where
not
true.
So it doesn't make it. It's like it doesn't make a difference that the majority of people want something.
there was a time in this country where black and white people could not marry each other.
Clarence Thomas, hello.
Okay, yet Clarence Thomas is still, fighting against our rights when he's married to someone who, he's married to a beautiful black woman and a beautiful white woman. And the point being that their marriage could be at jeopardy if they were going down the list of all the things, you know what I mean? Again, at the end of the day, if you're not a white cisgendered man, sorry guys, you're in trouble.
Good for you.
At least you didn't say fat.
She had to draw the line somewhere.
Tall.
And I wonder though, if you think, there's privilege in it, but I think all gay, anybody in the alphabet of our community is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And some more than others. There's no question of that.
Yeah.
But
we're all in.
everybody's on the line.
Yeah.
Well, historically, it always starts, with the smaller minority groups. So it
With
was
the low
trans
hanging fruit.
first.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's interesting because I know some people they're like, oh, I'm sorry that you're going through this, and these are LG part of our alphabet soup, and I'm like, you have no idea what's really coming. You need to really open
You think
your
you're
eyes.
the only one,
I mean, if you look at history, this is how everything has started.
Yeah.
With the smallest minority, and
Hitler.
yeah. So it just keeps on moving that way. So we all really have to band together and.
Yeah. And those log cabin Republicans, we haven't heard too much from them lately.
No.
Like, what's going on with them?
I keep on saying I want to go to one of their meetings. I would.
You should.
I would.
I mean,
what they gonna do?
with
Mess with me?
Right.
I don't think so.
I wish you.
I'll take Bonnie with me. We're good.
That's it. That's it.
Let's queer up the top stories of the year. This is number 8 of 2025. Trump ally Laura Loomer claims Lindsey Graham is gay in court testimony. Queer News Tonight recalls our story from August 22nd. A courtroom deposition reignited speculation about Senator Lindsey Graham's sexuality. Under oath in a defamation case, Laura Loomer claimed it was widely known Graham is gay, citing unnamed Trump staff. The exchange went viral. Graham has long maintained a record opposing LGBTQ+ rights.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Trinidadian, and let's queer up politics. Trump ally Laura Loomer claims Lindsey Graham is gay in court testimony. A fiery courtroom deposition has reignited speculation around Senator Lindsey Graham's sexuality. Right-wing influencer and Donald Trump ally Laura Loomer testified under oath that it is well known that Graham is gay. Loomer claimed during a deposition in her defamation lawsuit against HBO. The suit stems from late-night host Bill Maher joking in 2024 that she was having an affair with Trump. As part of HBO's defense, their attorney pressed Loomer about past social media posts in which she mocked Graham. On Twitter last year, she wrote, quote, "When is Lindsey coming out of the closet? We all know you're gay, Lindsey," end quote. Asked about it in court, Loomer confirmed, quote, "Yeah, I called him gay. It's well known. Several of President Trump's staff have told me in confidence that Lindsey Graham is gay," end quote. That exchange quickly went viral this week, with Loomer later doubling down online, insisting, quote, "I was under oath. I couldn't lie," end quote. Graham, now 70, has never married and has consistently denied such rumors. Over the years, he has voted against queer rights, opposing marriage equality, hate crimes protections, adoption rights, and openly gay service members in the military. Yet, Graham has faced decades of speculation, including allegations from gay adult film actor Sean Harding in 2020 that male sex workers knew him by the nickname Lady G. Graham has dismissed it all, once joking to the New York Times, quote, "I know it's really going to upset a lot of gay men, but I ain't available," end quote.
Puke.
Is that because you're currently with somebody and you're not allowed to, it's part of your agreement? Yeah, I mean, these rumors have swirled. Like, I think almost every gay man has, I don't want to say known, has allegedly known that Lindsey Graham is gay and has been probably one of the worst, has had one of the worst reputations on voting for gay rights. Everybody pretty much allegedly, I'm going to do the Kathy Griffin thing, allegedly knowing that he is gay. And even in the gay porn world, they know of this. So that means that maybe Lady G has hired some people. I think what would be really wonderful is if any of the people who have had these dalliances with Lady G want to come forward.
Receipts. We need
maybe
receipts.
there's some receipts, and maybe if you sign some non-disclosure, some contract or something, maybe there's a GoFundMe that might help from the community if you come forward, because I think it would really help to show a lot of the hypocrisy and what's going on in our political climate. So, and I want to be clear that the issue is not trying to out politicians, okay? What we're trying to do is bring accountability to the ones who are actively voting against us and pretending that they are not gay and hurting our community.
Yeah, you know what they say, isn't it said, I think isn't it alleged fact that Grindr crashes every time the Republicans have their convention in town? So, I mean, numbers don't lie, especially on Grindr, honey.
And when you have the woman with the hardest face I've ever seen outing
Laura Loomer,
this little sugarfoot, at its core, viewer, the principle, you don't out somebody. But if the person you're outing is somebody who has actively gone after your rights for Lord knows how long, we as queers can turn a blind eye to the breaking of the rules here. So if Laura Loomer wants to out Sugarfoot Lindsey Graham, girl, you speaking to the wind. We been done knew. We been done knew about Miss Lady G. She booked at fucking our house next week. We knew about her. She's a campy queen. We know her. She's not very good. She can't.
At Boardwalk.
Her heels about that. She walking the biscuit heel. She never wear a corset, and her wig lines are hard as fuck. We know about Miss Lady G. We been done knew. So you just talking for nothing. But yeah, viewers generally do not out somebody. In this case, we will make an exception.
It's true. I don't even really consider him gay, to be quite honest. Yeah. I don't think he could even really claim that because, he's not somebody that, is open about it. He's more or less somebody that's closeted, that's against our community, and it's against the principles of why we need an LGBTQ plus community. So for him to be someone that enjoys having sex with men, maybe that's, that's something that we should investigate more on. But even if he's gay or not, it's not the issue for me. It's just more or less like the person and who he is and what his values are. And he's obviously somebody that's against a lot of what we're trying to do.
Well, he's completely valueless because he's on record as saying things completely scathing things about the Orange Menace. Yeah. And of course now he's kissing the ring every day. So I mean, what he says holds no...
But, the rats are now attacking themselves. You've got Laura on one side and Graham on the other side, and this is exactly what they're doing. Now they're all attacking each other.
They're eating their own.
If he's having sex with men and he's not having sex with women...
He gay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
if that's what's happening. I just wish I was in that hearing with Laura Loomer. I could just see her tossing her hair and be like, we all know that he's gay. I talked to all the Trump people, and he's gay. Just the way she might have delivered those. I wish there was a recording or something of that.
I mean, her face didn't move when she said it. Regardless.
Hello.
We're looking back at the top LGBTQ news stories of the year from Queer News Tonight. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ+ world, we wish you a good night.